Let's get going. So welcome to the TeamMADE call. It is August 18th, and we're going to talk today on some Q&A. But before that, I have a very special surprise guest for you guys, Miss Danielle Natoni, and she's going to share with you just a little bit of her knowledge, and I'm going to let her take it away. Well, thank you. So you guys know I was 1 week away from really being on TeamMADE. Damn it. Yeah, so actually, Melissa has been an integral part of my business because she kind of took me under her wing. I love my upline coach. She's amazing. You may know her. Her name is Jackie Bull. She's got this big, blonde, beautiful hair and this sweet Southern accent. And when she told me, Danielle, I think you'd be great at coaching, I thought, okay. I was like, whatever you say, I'll do it. And then the next week I met this one, but because you don't steal from others, then I went to Jackie. And Jackie is an amazing coach to her team now, but in the beginning with me, she was going through a lot of life changes, and so she wasn't quite as present in my business then as she is now. So I kind of had to figure a lot of things out on my own. Number one thing I did was hung around really smart people. So obviously you're on a great team and you don't need to figure things out on your own. But what I would say is surround yourself with as many successful people as possible. That's the number one thing that I did in the beginning of this business is I was like, okay, if Melissa can do this and if she's having people over to her house, I don't care if she doesn't want me there, I'm going to be there. And I'm going to talk to all the other people there. And that's honestly how I became friends with a lot of her team and other successful people early on. You know, I know you've heard it said before, but you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around with. And so that's what I wanted. When I started coming to her house, I drove this beat up Kia. I will never forget this. You know, these vivid memories. She had a valet at her house for a party, and I don't even know, it may have just been like friends, but even still, friends. And I was so mortified of my car, and I thought, but nope, you know what? I'm going to hang around the kind of people I aspire to be like, I want to be like. So make sure, look at your circle of influence and see, are you kind of hanging out up? Are you, hanging around the kind of people that you aspire to be like? Because that for me was something that definitely helped me early on. And then the next thing, you guys, is I was a full-time elementary school teacher when I started. I taught 5th grade math. And actually, when I brought my daughter to meet the teacher night tonight, I was having like all these flashbacks of standing at the classroom door and greeting my new students. But I was a full-time teacher, and I was teaching group exercise. I think like 14 classes a week at that point. And I was just really, really busy, which I know a lot of you were. So you want to know what I did? I didn't sleep a lot. And I don't advocate that. You know, my husband is huge on sleep and making sure we get enough sleep and water. And, but I didn't sleep then. And I would go to bed at midnight and I'd wake up at 4 because sometimes you have to have a season of hard hustle in order to get past it. So I knew that if I hustled harder than anyone else for a year, then I would then be able to now, if the other day I slept 14 hours because I needed it. And so while I'm not advocating that you give up your life completely or you don't sleep, but if you have a dream, if you're like, I don't want to go back to work, or I want to stay home with my kids, or I want to earn enough money to pay for Christmas in cash, then hustle harder than you've ever hustled before. Work harder, wake up earlier, go to bed later. And, I think sometimes we just forget that you just sometimes have to work your ass off. I'm sorry if there's any kids in the room, but I'm no more special or talented than anyone else. I mean, look at this rock star. I'm definitely no more special or talented than her, but I will work my ass off. Like if I have a goal or if there's something I want to get done, I will work hard. So my question to you is if you have goals, are you working as hard as possible as you possibly could? Like, are you giving up keeping up with the Kardashians? I get it. I like that show. That's my guilty pleasure. But if I'm working on a goal, I'm not watching it. So, hustle hard, go to bed late, wake up early, surround yourself with people who you want to be like. And then you guys be okay with screwing it up. I was a terrible coach in the beginning. If you've heard my story before, if you've heard me share,
I did not do any of our workouts. I bought Yoga Booty Ballet because it was the cheapest. And let's be honest, that workout's just kind of silly. And I did not drink our shake because I'm like, fit people don't drink shakes. And I didn't read a book because I'm like, well, I'm teaching school and I'm teaching classes and I'm supposed to run a business and you want me to read? I don't have time for that. So I was basically trying to sell people P90X because I'm cute and people like me. So I would be like, oh, you want P90X? It has, and the set is gray. And, Tony Horton's real nice, even though I don't know him. I had no idea. And so I screwed it up. The first coaches I signed got 0 training. They're probably all inactive or have canceled. And when I finally started to figure out that I needed to be proof of products work and I got on social media, guess what? I screwed that up too. Because every day Facebook reminds me when it shows you on this day, your post, and I'm like, oh my God, seriously? I said that? Oh, yep, only one person liked it. And you guys, my dad wasn't even on social media back then, so it wasn't even him. You guys all know my dad probably follows every single one of y'all. And if he doesn't yet, he will. And so I read these posts and I'm like, oh my gosh, who would buy anything from me? It was terrible. What's my point? My point is you've got to screw it up. The more you screw it up, the more you're going to get it right. I still screw it up. Not every post I make is a win. And not every coach I sign turns diamond. I mean, heck, I think I only have like 35 personally sponsored lifetime diamonds out of 5 business centers over 6 years out of however many personally sponsored coaches. I mess it up all the time. I run push groups that stink and nobody advances rank. I run challenge groups where there's crickets and nobody talks. But just as many of those that I mess up, I get it right. And I get a challenge group where tons of people are fired up and become coaches in Hit Success Club. Or I do a push group where people actually advance in rank. So don't be scared. I know you've heard it before, and there's a book called Fail Forward. But truly, that's what you have to be willing to do. You have to be willing to screw it up so much that at some point you have no choice but to get it right. So that's what's really worked for me is, surround yourself with really smart, beautiful people with similar hair and, and also work really, really hard. Like it takes elbow grease. Like, sure. Is this as hard as other jobs? Of course not, right? Like I said this at the Phoenix Superstar the other day. Hard is being a police officer in today's climate. Or hard is going over to Afghanistan and fighting for our country. Is putting your transformation story out on the internet hard? Of course. But it's not as hard as other things could be. But it's still, I think sometimes because what we do is selfies and Instagram and Snapchat and with dog filters and it seems silly, we forget that you do still have to put in hard work and it doesn't come easy. Right. And don't be afraid to mess it up. I mess it up. I mess it up all the time. I'm probably going to mess up at some point tomorrow. And what I do know is that every time I mess up, I just get a little bit better and my business gets a little bit stronger. So that's what I have to say about that.
Thank you. And you can quote me on this. I was thinking about this earlier. I don't watch TV and I don't any TV at all. I don't even really watch movies or anything. Turn the TV on to fall asleep too. And I'm really careful about my social media. I try really hard not to get caught up in scrolling, but I'm addicted to this one, social media. And if you charged a subscription, I would pay for it. I am serious. I would absolutely, you can agree, shake your head, right? Mm-hmm. You are the only one when I see, Danielle's posted on Snapchat that I will click it and I will sit in my car and I will watch what Danielle is doing for the day. Only because she is 100% real. And I don't want to use the word unfiltered because she has a lot of class. And I think unfiltered maybe doesn't exemplify that, but you're just so real. And what she just said today, that it's okay to screw up things and she's honest about it. And even you just talked about your daughter and how you got mad at your daughter.
I exploded at her. Like it literally, I flew off the handle. I shouldn't have pushed my buttons. And, and let me give you a little Snapchat advice. There's the 2 people I could not unfollow on Snapchat because they would know, right? And because we private snap, so they would know. I'm telling you, don't watch a single one of their stories. I just skip over it because it's 100% business all the time. And so I'm not the best snapper on the planet, but here's my bit of advice for you. Snapchat is where people fall in love with you. Let them see the silly side of you. Let them see the behind the scenes, the real action, real life, what's going on. and then move them to Instagram or Facebook where you're providing a little bit more information. So, Snapchat's kind of like your dating profile, and then you're going to actually go out on the date by taking them to Instagram and Facebook. I think when people take Snapchat too seriously, you're missing the point of the platform. And if you talk more than 4 to 5 videos in a row, dude, I'm done with you. Then you needed to make a live video on Facebook if you had that much to say. True. So on Snapchat, again, I'm not the best snapper out there, but seriously, just have fun with it. That's what the filters are for. If you have an animal, I will follow your Snapchat so much more if you have an animal on your Snapchat. Yay. Are we snapping right now? Yep. Oh, she's putting a filter. We're going to face swap. Face swapping is awesome, but just have fun with it because, I think we get so focused on business on social media that we forget that the whole thing is we're supposed to give a sneak peek into who we are. You know how those sneak peek groups for coaching? I actually don't do those, even though I think they're amazing and I have a lot of people on my team who do them, because to me, I'm like, everything I do is a sneak peek into coaching. And so if you kind of think of it that way, right, but don't take yourself so seriously, you shouldn't be in the camera going, and I love my Shakeology and it's so amazing and here it is and it's got all the ingredients. Just drink your shake and be doing something else while you're drinking your shake, and just go about your life and just have fun with it. And so I'm really honored that she watches my snaps.
I do.
I watch your snaps too. No, that's why we're over here. It's not because of, yes, because of her, but she won us over with her cat.
It worked. It worked. Okay, I'm gonna let her go because her family needs to go. I'm gonna face swap with her really fast, and then I promise I'll be back. Right. Okay.
Will it even know the difference?
Oh my God.
You guys, that's hilarious.
That's crazy.
That's awesome. They need to see that. Yeah. That's amazing. You've got to save that too.
I love you.
Oh, thanks for feeding us.
You're welcome.
Bye, you guys. Have a great rest of your night. Crystal, I'll see you in the morning, girl. Okay. Ooh, don't mind this booty as I go out. Sorry. My husband likes these contests.
Yeah. Well, they're working. Nice surprise, right? It's funny, I'm keeping her here, and I'm like, just wait till 8:30, just wait till 8:30. And I'm like, hey, you want to come say hi to my team? But her and Darren are amazing. So thank you for coming on. We have over 50. I'm very happy for that. And so what I wanted to do was and some of you are brand new, and I didn't even introduce Danielle. If you don't know who she is, I should have given her a proper introduction, but I always feel like she doesn't need one because I know, like Renee, I see your comment. People just know her and love her. She just got the CEO award at Summit, which is like the highest honor I think to get. It just means that the CEO of the company chose her out of 500,000 coaches to recognize her as being a really good coach. She's a master trainer. She's a superstar diamond coach. She's the Insanity Life format expert. She runs the Dallas Market Council and blows it out of the water. I mean, her list of credentials is crazy. And she's a great person to follow on social media because, like I said, and I meant that, I wasn't kissing her ass. I meant it. She's the only one I watch. I'm so intrigued by her life and how busy she is, but she just keeps it all together. Well, most of the time she keeps it together. Apparently she did with her daughter, and that was nice to hear because I've done that too. So let's go ahead and get into the questions. And I'm just going to go down the list and I'm going to answer them all. And I want to be honest with you, as washed out as I am. I'm going to, it's a good way to put it. I'm going to be frank, not the person. I'm going to be frank with some of the answers. So prepare yourself. So if you're feeling a little sensitive right now, you probably should get off. Does that scare you? You're like, I knew I shouldn't have asked a question. The family. There's so much recognition. I have to scroll and scroll and scroll. That's so good. All right. No question unanswered. When did you get your first customer hooked? When I first became a coach, the first thing I did, and I don't know if it was because network marketing was new and I only knew old school ways. I'd never done it before, but to invite people over to show them the product, to have a party. So that's what I did. As soon as I became a coach, I displayed Turbo Jam and I displayed the meal replacement shake and our multivitamin, because that's all we had. Multivitamin, crappy meal replacement shake, and a couple of programs. And I displayed them beautifully. And I explained to the group that I would love for us to do Turbo Jam together as a group. And I would love for us to take the meal replacement shake and replace one meal with that. No Shakeology at the time, but of course, Shakeology is 10 times better. And I got quite a few customers. And a lot of those customers actually became coaches because they loved the environment. It was my warm market. And so they wanted to stick in this with me. And none of them are on the call right now because they're wildly successful and they have their own teams. But my very successful coaches were my first customers. So if for you that works, that you just bring people over, I think parties, I hate to use that word because I think of like Tupperware or even those sensual toys. I've never been to one of those kind of parties, but they would work for Beachbody as well. And Beachbody has amazing videos in the back office. So you could have a bunch of friends over and make some Shakeology samples and play a Shakeology video explaining how crazy good it is for you, or do a workout with people, a little mock workout, a 15-20 minute workout with them, or even show them that new introducing Team Beachbody video. So you don't even have to do much of the talking. Just make everybody comfortable, make some Shakeology desserts or Shakeology balls, and then play a video. I still think that's a great way if you're brand new, especially if you're warm market, because it's your warm market. You don't need to work them through social media, especially if they're from your church or the college that you go to or your job or your neighbors. Invite them over one day and work out with them. Tell them you'll give them a nice Shakeology afterwards and call it good. When they actually try Shakeology and they have a workout and they feel that accountability and support with other people, they're hooked. How do you stay consistent through the rough times? Okay, this is going to be one of those tough love ones because I want it. I, in all honesty, have a hard time understanding how you can let it go. If you have made the decision that this is going to be what's going to retire your husband, or this is what's going to be that takes you out of a job that you hate, or this is going to be what gets you out of those student loan debts that you're drowning in, how can you even consider quitting no matter how hard it gets? That post that I made in the team page the other day, where there are people who are living much, much tougher lives than you, would feel blessed to have your life. You do have, it does get tough. Of course it gets tough. This business is hills and valleys constantly. But you've got to know that, and you've got to know while you're working through the tough times, there is a hill and a valley and a hill and a valley, and you're going to hit one of those high points and it's going to come to fruition. But guess what? You might hit another valley. But work through it because you know that hill is coming. There's not a person on the planet that stays in the valley all the time. There will be a hill where you are on top and you are progressing and you are feeling wonderful. And then something will happen. It'll knock you off a little bit. Stick with it. I've had that happen so many times. I'm going to share something with you I've never shared before. Oh, I can't. It's recorded. But I will just tell you, I got in trouble with compliance through Beachbody a long time ago, accidentally. It was an accident. I wasn't being malicious or doing anything that I thought was wrong, but apparently it was. And I got in big trouble. And I'm a sensitive person. I remember crying on the floor of my bedroom talking with corporate because I disappointed them, not knowing that I had. And bye, honey. It was crazy. And that could have been enough to make me quit. I really like corporate. And so when I disappointed them and I thought they're never going to trust me again, they're never going to think I'm building ethically, I should just quit. But I couldn't do it. I had made the decision that this was going to be the thing that saved Mick from the job that he hated. And so I stuck with it. And it was a very, very hard valley to climb out of. Very hard. But I'm doing okay now. So it's a very hard thing for me to answer because I personal development, maybe, I'm constantly listening to things that remind me what I want, I can achieve. So if you're feeling that you're not good enough for the success, or you're not confident to build this business, dive into personal development. When I look at you guys as a whole, some of you are successful right out of the gate. Some of you have success slowly out of the gate, and some of you kind of feel stuck. 9 times out of 10, the people that are stuck are not reading their personal development, they're not drinking their shake every day, and they're not working out. If you're not doing those 3 things, it's so hard to share this business. It's what you have to do. If you had a job and you had to dress in a suit and you couldn't leave your desk until it was lunchtime and you couldn't leave the office until 5 p.m., you would do that because that was your job and you had to. Drinking your Shakeology, doing your personal development, and working out most days is your job. I mean, that's pretty cool. It makes you healthy. It makes you look good. It makes you feel good, but it's your job. That's part of you being a coach. You will never inspire people if you're not a product of the product. What systems do you use for customer, potential customer, and coach tracking? I have answered this before, and it's a great question. And I have Cynthia here, and Cynthia helps me with that. She's built a tracker for me where she helps me because at this stage in the game, I do have a lot of, between the ebook and being a master trainer and all this stuff, I have a lot of leads that I deal with, and she really helps organize that. But I'm telling you, in the past, and I'm trying to look around, I've got so much paperwork. I'm a pen and paper girl. I've never been able to understand all of those great schedulers and stuff. And I know you guys on the team, some of you do. You're very good with computers. So you're more than welcome in the chat box to write some ideas. I think that was that Laurel? Yeah. Hi, Laurel. That was her question. Pen and paper. I will write somebody's name. I will write the date that I talked to them, what I talked to them about, and then when I should follow up. So if it's a customer and I'm working on a challenge group, I will write down their information, and I want to get back to them probably within 24 hours because I'm trying to fill up this challenge group. If it's somebody that I talked to about coaching and they said they needed to talk with their spouse or they wanted to watch the videos that I sent them, I'll give them a couple of days. So, I'll bump that 2 or 3 days, but I will always have a column of when to follow up next. I will follow up, and then I will write down again what they said. And you keep going because I'm an expert at dealing with leads. I've done it for 8 years and I'm an expert at it. And I'm here to tell you, it takes bare minimum 3 times to touch their life somehow, at least 3 times, if not 7 to 9 times. You'll see her name come up. She's supposed to sign up tomorrow. Her name is Janelle Farber, and she was my mom's friend, and she's known I've coached for 8 years, and I've talked to her about it for 8 years, and she should sign up tomorrow. So keep your fingers crossed. 8 years. But I never gave up on her. And she was in some of my challenge groups, and I check in on her here and there, and now she's ready. And so I'm ecstatic. But I wanted her to do it when she was ready. But if I didn't keep following up, there was no point in her reaching back out to me. She could have found somebody else or a different company or different means. But because we kept in touch, even though I couldn't get her to become a coach when I wanted her to become a coach, it's now her time and she's ready. Attraction marketing. I think if you just put yourself out, what a good example. If you put your true self out there on social media and you really be you, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you will get with it, you're going to attract the people you want to work with. I don't think it's going to take anything that you have to study or learn in order to get your people. I've really learned that I am, this is how I put it. 7 F's. I'm all about faith, family, friends, fitness, food, fat, and fasting. Was that 8? I don't know. 7 or 8 F's. And that's me. And that's the things that I talk about all the time. And so guess what? I attract people that have faith. Most of the time, people that are married and have kids, people that are interested in a higher fat diet or fasting and are interested or already involved in eating healthy and fitness, because that's what I put out there. So I attract that. I'm proud of my Instagram account, because even though I have some Arabic men, I have a few Arabic men that follow me, they're mostly my market. 245,000 people that are a lot like me. When I go through who's following me, I'm impressed. I would take 75% of them and have them become coaches if I could figure out how to snag them. But they're my market, because all I've done for the last 3 years on my Instagram is put out who I am, my inspirational quotes. I talk about food and fitness. I talk about exercise, because that's who I am. So I think if you just will be brave and put every single thing about you out there, you're going to find people that are going to be attracted to you, because they're like, gosh, I really like this chick. We're a lot alike. I'll move on. I know you offer trips and rewards for your coaches. What are they, and how do you qualify? Yes, we do. This year, Mick and I did 2 trips for people that were doing a first rank advancement and then advanced, meaning that we have some coaches that have, that are star diamonds that want to level up to the next level. And we kind of call that a VIP trip. So it's just a matter, these trips, and one is in 2 weeks, so it's over pretty much. But the one in February is still up for grabs. And if you're listening to this call and you're curious what it would take for you to go on that trip, just message Mick, inundate his Facebook message for me. Every single one of you message him and ask him what it would take for you to go on the February trip. Even if you don't want to go, just do it for me. I'll die laughing. But you can. Every single one of you can go on the February trip to Cabo, Mexico. And it's just a matter of, if you are a brand new coach, like I saw, where'd she go? Where are you? Oh, Alicia. Hi, Alicia. Pretty girl. She's brand new. And so she's probably like, I have no idea what this trip is about. You just need to rank advance. You're going to learn through the new coach training that we have different levels, and you just have to hit a certain level, and it's unique to you. So I'm not going to say that every single person on this board has to be 5-star in order to go on this trip. It's unique to you depending on where you're starting and where we want you to go. And we give you a really good amount of time to get there. It's just going to take consistency. So we don't make it a hard goal to get, and we don't make it too easy. It's something that's just a little bit out of your comfort zone, kind of you want it bad enough. You got to get out of your comfort zone and achieve that rank, and we'll spoil you rotten in Cabo. At what point does a coach name her own team? You can do that on day 1, and you can do it 5 years from now. If you love the TeamMADE logo, you love the name, you love the camaraderie, you are more than welcome to stay with TeamMADE forever. But if you just have this burning itch you had this name in your mind since you were 12 years old, playing with your Barbies, your little career you were going to have, and this is the time for you to use that name, you can do it now, you can do it whenever. It's totally up to you. In my experience, most people usually about when they hit diamond, and they feel like they've got, an organization of 12 to 15 coaches, they start feeling like a leader, and they should. That's when the leadership role really takes on. And so that's normally when they'll come up with a team name. And this is totally random, but I want you guys to know, since I have your attention, I don't know if you've ever heard of Fiverr, FIVERR.com. Some of you probably have. But it's an amazing website where these people with talents will do darn near anything for $5. They'll write you a song. They'll make you a video. They'll create a logo for you for $5. It's fun. If you have $5 floating around and you're bored on a Saturday afternoon, go to Fiverr.com. When P90X2 came out, there's a sweet old man. He was in his 70s or 80s, and he had one of those, he looked like Elmer Fudd. He had one of those faces that kind of looked like it was melting, and he had a really big nose, and he was missing a lot of his teeth. And so he lisped when he talked. I had him make a song for the reveal of P90X2. It was the silliest thing, but it got so much attention because he was so dang cute. $5. I have to find it. It has to be somewhere on my YouTube, but he is adorable, and it was $5. So be creative. Put $5 into having somebody write a name or a song for you. You'd be shocked how talented these people are. Best coach placement for new business starters. It's a really good question. So if you are very serious about this business, I really encourage you to sign up a spouse or a partner or a sibling or a parent. For one, it gets you halfway to Emerald. For two, it gets you 2 Success Club points. 3, it gives you leverage in your business center. And I'm only telling you this from personal experience. I signed Mick up not right away, and I wish I had, but I didn't sign him up right away, but I signed him up probably within 6 months. Should have been sooner because it would be a big difference. But I've told some of you guys this before on the call, because he's placed so high up in the organization, and I put him what was called the strong leg, which if you look at your legs, most likely one creates a little bit more volume than the other. I put him on the leg that had more volume, and he has sat there as a diamond for 7 years, and he caps out at $2,000 a week as a diamond sitting there. If I were to not be so stubborn and would put some coaches underneath him instead of my own business center so that we can stay top 10, it would cap out at $5,000 a week just because I signed him up early. He is the weakest diamond on the planet. A lot of the coaches underneath him is my aunt and my niece that love the products, but I asked my family, sign up. So it's just a really weak, botched together, but it has the potential to make $20,000 a month because I signed him up early. So if you're really serious about this business, you want to sign up a spouse. Get yourself halfway to Emerald. Emerald is where it's at because you start getting leads from the business. And if it just sits there, even if it's just a placeholder for now and you don't build it, you make it inactive, I don't care. But sign them up and let them sit there. So when you build huge and you're as big as I am, you'll be very glad that you did. Other than that, here's my formula for placing coaches when you're building a newer business center. You've got 2 legs, and I'm going to say, because I don't understand how this works, but I'm going to say the one with the watch is my right leg, okay? So if that's backwards, I apologize. But this is my right leg, and this is my left. This one, because of the coaches that are up here, every once in a while, some coaches get placed on this leg that are they're not your responsibility. You don't have to train them. Somebody else is doing that for you, but you actually accumulate volume on the right leg, the strong leg, and then you have the left leg. What I want you to do is to put a coach on the right leg and a coach on the left leg to make yourself an Emerald coach. Once you're an Emerald coach, what's most important to me is not your rank. The most important thing to me is that you make as much money as you can from the get-go. So I want you to put the one coach on that strong leg, the one that is getting a little bit of volume all by itself. And I want you to put the next 4 coaches on the leg that's not getting somebody else's volume, because I want you to equal out the volume on the right and left so you get what's called that team cycle bonus of $14. Okay? And not every coach teaches that because rank is important to them. It's not to me. I want you making money. So you put 4 strong coaches on this weak leg. Once you have 4 strong coaches on the weak leg, you put 3 more on this leg. And then you work to build emeralds on each leg so that you become a diamond. But hear me out. I want you to get paid. So get a good, strong coach on each leg and then build the one that you have to build, essentially. This is a binary system. I hate that word, but this is a binary system, and that means that one leg gets fed and one leg doesn't. And so you have to build this leg. And I want you to put as much volume on that leg as you can. So when you become a diamond coach, you're going to fill this leg again like crazy until you start to notice that you're either balancing out or you have to rank advanced because you're capping out. But that's what I'm here for. So as you're building your business and you're bringing coaches, I don't know if Janie's on. Janie always messages me, is my coach is in the right spot? I dig that stuff. So I am more than happy to look into your back. Angel, didn't we just do that? I love to look at that stuff. And so I will help you. Whenever you're like struggling to think where you should put your next coach, or you signed a coach and you're afraid they're in the wrong place, message me and I'll help you. You have, I think they bumped it up to 5 days, but at the bare minimum, you have 3 days to move a coach. So don't panic. 5? Okay, thank you. 5 days. Yay! I was in cab and I think that was my decision. I don't even remember. But 5 days to move them. So don't panic, especially if I don't answer you within 15 minutes. I will get to you. Carolina she says, one more. When a customer who has monthly Shakeology order and club membership becomes a coach, does she have to cancel her previous membership Shakeology orders once she signs up with the challenge pack? No, not anymore. Back in the day, yes, but not anymore. We've actually become technologically advanced enough that it's recognized. So if they're a coach, you will see that even if they sign up just for coach and it's going to say inactive, it will flip around for them to be active because that customer order will come into the coach order. Are you typing, Renee? 75% of the time. You can't always trust the system, so you want to watch it, but you shouldn't have to have them cancel and reorder. Again, it's recorded, so I'm going to leave it at that. Susan Overstreet, overcoming objections. Susan, you've been a coach for a while. It's called practice. And in the file section of the TeamMADE group is a ton of information on handling objections. So I'm not going to cover that one, but it takes practice. You're going to stumble over your words. You're going to walk away from a conversation going, did I really just say that? I sounded so stupid. But guess what? You're going to remember what you said that time, and you're going to remember not to say it the next time. And you're also going to be like, I know how now to spin that, to make it sound like what was going on in here. I'm telling you, it's practice. There's so many times that I walked away embarrassed because even to my family, when they'll ask me, what's so special about Shakeology? And I'm like, what? I start spewing ingredients. It's practice. I don't care who you are, how educated you are in nutrition, you're kinesiology major, you're a marketing major. As Danielle said, you're going to screw it up. And the more you talk about it, the more you practice it, the better that you'll get. I used to be so uncomfortable and so passive when someone would not combat me about going in a challenge group or becoming a coach, but just they had questions. And I would retract. I'd be like a turtle and I'd come into my shell. I've learned not to. I'm so comfortable and so confident with what we do. And a lot of that comes from the fact that I revisit, especially our Shakeology videos. I watched 2 today. I think it's really important. For one, it reminds you how stinking good it is for you. If you drink it every day, you kind of stop forgetting how good it is for you and what a good product it is. But if you go watch a video, like I watched the 100 Doctors, 100 Doctors Don't Lie today. It's so good and it's so spot on and it fires me up again. And if anybody asks me about Shakeology, I'm like, oh, let me tell you. So sometimes your personal development might have to be that you go into the video library in your back office and watch some of the products or listen to some of the celebrity trainers talk about their programs. Like Shanti, when he creates a program, he's really got some science and some reason behind it, and it fires you up. So when you do a challenge group for it, you can explain why this program, why is this one different than me going to the gym? Let me explain. I mean, max 30, a lot of science behind it. How do you keep customers on Shakeology Home Direct? Christy, I'll be honest. I think a lot of my customers, I've never been a big retailer. Never, ever, ever have. 99% of my income is you guys, is the team. I'm just not a retailer. So I still run challenge groups, even though I don't have to, but I love to do them. And so the only income that I get are the few challenge packs that I sell every month for the challenge groups that I do. And most of those usually become coaches. So that's how they stay on Shakeology Home Direct, is because they had such a good experience in the challenge group and they had great results that they decide to become a coach, whether it's because they want a discount or because they see that they've made a big difference in their life and they could help somebody else make a difference. That's usually how. Most of the time, the average, if you know this, the average that someone spends on Shakeology Home Direct as a customer is 4 months. As a coach, it's 6. And that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it really is. If you get a coach that's engaged in the business and is helping you with challenge groups and is running their own challenge groups, they'll stay on it much longer. So there'll be a 365-dayer. But for coaches that even just do it for the discount, they end up staying on it longer because they just feel more connected. My stuff's going on. When do you make a team name and start having meetings with your own coaches? Kind of already asked, but if I'm a new coach, how do I hook my coaches into good training groups? Do I just add them to the home TeamMADE group? Yeah, this is a really good place, for me to let you guys know that that Adam and I have parted ways. For those of you that have been with me for a long time, I love the guy, and he is so smart, but he is better served in corporate than he is here, I think. And so I found somebody, you can see on my face, I'm so excited. I found somebody new that I'm just ecstatic because he is a coach and he really knows what coaches need. And so him and I have been brainstorming like crazy. And although I have what I think is a really good made to be Emerald training, we're beta testing. Some of you are in it, another brand new training. And I've been making videos for it and I'm really excited about it. So I want to build something for you guys that is just bulletproof, and we're almost there. So I would love for you to always know it's going to be TeamMADE University, and I want you to know that that's always available to you. There is absolutely no need for you to feel like you need to reinvent the wheel, ever, 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 ever. When I first started as a coach, everybody in my upline started as well, and so I didn't have anybody to go to. Christine Dwyer and Janelle Summers, and then a couple other coaches, and then me. Although right now they're wildly successful, they've created amazing trainings. They were worthless in the beginning, just like I would have been, completely worthless. None of us knew what we were doing. So you just learned on your own. It was trial and error. It was practice. It was failing forward. But I really want to create something that your coaches can use. That's my goal, is for it to be accessible to everybody. The 12,000 that we have in this team, when it gets to 100,000 and we go international and we go huge, we'll have it in different languages. It'll be available. And I think that's the most important thing that you can do as a coach, and something I take too dang seriously, is to make sure that a coach gets started off right. They've trusted in you. They're like, I'm going to sign up with you to be a coach, and I want you to help me. You need to be there for that person. And so I've been working relentlessly, trying to come up with something for you guys that you can say, I've got the best training in the business, come join us. We'll plug you into the training and you will be started off right. And, if you fail, this wasn't for you. It's not because you weren't given the tools to be able to be successful. So that's coming. It's almost there. When can we have a sleepover, camp out at your house? Janice. Come in 2 weeks. Come visit, even though we're going to go on a boat. You can come visit. What are the best things that have worked for you in signing coaches? I'm sure now at this stage of the game, they come to you. Nope. But when you were first starting out, what was the best thing, or really the best advice you could give someone who is trying so hard to build their team? And she says not succeeding, and that's not true. She's actually doing very well. She's humble. Okay, when I first started, 100% challenge groups, 100% challenge groups. So I was the 6th person in the company to become 15-star diamond. I don't know if you know that. I was number 6. And I was the 13th coach to become part of the Millionaires Club. I always remember those numbers. So, but the challenge groups and the Millionaires Club, or excuse me, the 15-star diamond in the Millionaires Club was because I ran challenge groups. And I still to this day think they are the best way for you to have successful coaches in your downline. Unless you find somebody who's familiar with the products or is already in the fitness industry, right? Or even familiar with network marketing, I guess. If they've never seen the products or done the products or understand what challenge groups are, it's going to be a slower process for them. But if you're kind of training them to be a coach while you're taking them through a challenge group and getting them healthy and helping them feel really good about themselves, it's such an easy transition to become a successful coach. So I still to this day, and that's why I try to help run challenge groups with you, put together challenge groups. If you can only get 2 or 3 people, that's not a very powerful challenge group. Partner up. There's so many of you guys and so many of you that are so much alike that you can really create powerful challenge groups together if you group yourselves together and take turns. You don't have to work so dang hard, but run challenge groups. How you get people into your challenge groups, there's so many different ways. You could do the eating clean to get them familiar with the process. You can run a Facebook ad. You could do a Instagram shout out for a challenge group. You can post it on your page numerous times, put a spin on it, give away a $25 gift card. There's just so many different ways. And you got to play with it because your audience is different than the person in the box next to you's audience. And so what works for one person may not work for another, but you've got to keep trying and you will find something that works for you. These sneak peeks are for most of the coaches, you can't see that I wrote down that have coaches, a lot, like Amanda and Cashley and Farah and Trevor. All of those are running sneak peeks right now. They're doing Instagram shout outs and then they're running sneak peeks. And they're bringing in really good quality people, better than I've ever gotten from Facebook ads. And because if you find an Instagram page that looks like a page you would follow, don't go after the one that has 1.2 million followers but shows nothing but girls' bare booties. It's a 1.2 million men following that page, and they're not going to reach out to you about your sneak peek. It's got to be a classy page. Do hashtags like FitMom or Fit at 40 and look for these pages that have a good following, and it doesn't have to be huge. You only need 5 or 10 people to run a really successful shout out, or not shout out, but a sneak peek. And I'm giving you the transcripts. You can look at them and get an idea of what I say, and it's just so simple. And if you're not comfortable going on there and talking live, which I think most of you are, heck, Renee, you're right next to me, Renee. That's why I keep referencing you. She's done more lives than I have, yes. She's better at them than I am. But if they don't make you comfortable, then pre-record something, right? Or I don't know how successful it would be, but even if you just played the Team Beachbody video in there and then you played a Shakeology video, you know, depending on your comfort level, but they're really, I don't know how long they're going to last. Facebook ads were the place to be a year ago, and now the shout outs are the place to be, but they will get saturated and they'll quit working. So I do implore you to give it a try. If you can take 10% of your check, if you're brand new, you still have a great warm market to work. But if you are bringing in a $52 check, put $5 into a little bank every week. So you have $20, and find a page that will do a shout out for $20 and get yourself 10 emails and just dive into those people. I think the less people you have, the more you can give of yourself, and they'll want to become coaches. There's a lot of questions. Sorry, let me scan through them really fast. How do you balance the thoughts, I'm helping people and I'm running a business? Man, Betsy, it's I don't know. It's always been about the people. I want what's best for them no matter what. I mean, there's plenty of times that I've had to tell people, just here recently, I had a lady reach out to me about a challenge group, and she wanted to lose a couple of pounds. And I asked her about her diet, and I found out that she was eating something that's probably holding her back from losing those 7 pounds. And she already exercises, love what she does. I don't think my challenge group was the right place for her to be. I helped tweak her diet for her. She's going to continue to exercise. She's going to change her diet just a little bit. And I'm pretty sure she'll lose those 7 pounds without having to go through that challenge group. I mentioned Shakeology because I think it's a great product, but I'm not going to make her buy a challenge pack and come into this challenge group if I really don't think it's best for her. She loves what she does already. So for me, it's always about the people. I think what comes around goes around. So I've never ever had to balance that. It's whatever's best for you guys and what's best for the customer. I wish I had a better answer, but it's the truth. Debbie, I'm about to sign my husband as a coach. What is placement for him? Weak or strong leg? I don't know if you're on here, Debbie, if you got that strong leg. It used to be, people used to, and you'll still see videos on YouTube about it, that they would say the weak leg. The Jason D. Bulls and I'm drawing a blank. Had too many of Danielle's cookies. Have changed it. They're now saying strong leg, and I totally agree, because in the long run, if you put your spouse on the strong leg, you get to control that business center, so you can make a diamond. Remember, I told you I wanted you to put as many coaches on that weak leg as you can, so you're going to have no problem building a ton of diamonds on that weak leg, because there's going to be so many coaches in there. But on the strong leg, you're not going to have very many coaches because you don't need the volume there. So at least one of those coaches can be your spouse that you can make diamond yourself, which will generate a whole lot more income for you, and at the same time will help you rank advance. So always put your spouse or your partner or your child or your grandmother on the strong leg. From one of my diamond coaches, how often do you run ads to gain new people, followers, recruiting coaches? If they just like a post, do you reach out to them? I have never run an ad to promote my Facebook. I did my Instagram right when I first built it. I would pay to just say, have them put up my video and say, please follow. I don't do that anymore, but I did that in the beginning to grow it quickly, and it was legitimate, and it brought me my kind of followers. But I've never done a Facebook ad where I've promoted my page. Do they work? Should I be? But I don't do that. And no, I don't message people that only like, unless I specifically say, like this post and I'll reach out to you. If I don't say that, I won't reach out to them for liking it. Boop, boop, boop. I'm gonna answer 3 more, okay? 3 more. This is for more advanced, but opening an additional business center. So if you're a new coach, pay attention. Should you use them to rank up? How do you strategically place them? The timeline for ranking in both or more versus just advancing in your initial business, stuff like that. That was a mouthful, right? It sounded like I had marbles in my mouth. When you become a 2-star diamond in a business center, which means you have a diamond on one leg and a diamond on the other, you get to open up a new business center, and you can do that 25 times. Right now, I have 6 business centers, and then I have my husband's, which I manage as well. So I take care of 7, but I've got 6 right now. And I have a couple that are capped out, but I can do that 25 times. So for you, you want to place a new business center underneath the leg that has less volume, because it will generate a whole lot more volume that way. The more you go, the more strategy it takes. So let me give you an example. My 4th business center is under my son's weak leg, and my 6th business center is under my daughter's weak leg. And I build both of those a lot, because of course I want my children to have this huge bank of income. So those are fed very heavily. So you're lucky if you're in those business centers, but they're put there. So the more business centers you open, the more strategy it is. But if you were to open a business center, it would kind of look like this, believe it or not. And you would just balance it out. But again, just like placing coaches, I am here to help you. And it's what I love to do. I've been helping Lauren Fitzgerald and Mary Nin with that. Where's the best place to put a new business center? Because I'm here to tell you, diamond is cool, but you won't see a huge pay jump when you go diamond. It's bragging rights. It means that you're doing this correctly. You're changing people's lives exponentially, but it's not a big bump in pay. The big bump in pay comes when you become 2-star. That's honestly where you'll go from making fun money or, that's a nice paycheck, or, I'll buy groceries this week, to, wow, I'll make the house payment this week. Oh my gosh, this can retire me. So your goal, your short, long-term goal is to become a 2-star diamond, is to find 2 people just like you that are on your right leg and your left leg, and to mentor the crap out of them and get them to diamond, a nice, strong, healthy diamond, so you can open up that next business center. And that's all the difference in the world. I don't want to say it's smooth sailing from there, but it's a big, big difference. So that's your big, big first push goal, is to be a 2-star diamond. How do you reach your organic market? I know my niche, but getting to them, I can't figure out. Jessica, you're so cute. How do you reach your organic market? Help without expectation is the best thing that I can say. If you watch my Facebook or my profile or even my Instagram, and I even do it on Snapchat, I will give information for free. I have books galore that I will pull from. I mean, I read these books. I even have Entrepreneur Magazine right here. And I read that stuff and I highlight it and I mark it, and then I'll put my own spin on it. And what I'm doing is building that trust and that relationship with the people that are watching me that aren't ready to reach out yet for help. And so they just keep seeing in their news feed, there's Melissa again. That's great advice. There's Melissa again. Wow, that was inspiring. There's Melissa again. That was kind of funny. I want them to, every time they see a post, to stop them in their tracks and go, that was helpful. That lightened my mood. That made me feel better. Wow, I didn't know that, kind of a thing. Every single time. So it's posting with intention. You have to think about your posts. Snapchat, like Danielle said, no. Be silly on Snapchat. But everything else, still be you. Have some character. Be funny. Be sarcastic. Be angry. I'm going to digress, but I was getting gas this morning, and on the top, I have a picture of it. You'll see the post and it'll be like, there she goes. It was a pizza, and if you bought a pizza, you got a free 2-liter of Coca-Cola. And I just started to feel anger well up in me. Oh, so mad. That's not food. It's not food. You look at it, it's not even real cheese. It's not food, and it doesn't fuel your body, and it angers me that it's advertised and it's such a deal, and you get a free bottle of sugar with it. Good for you. And people will eat that for lunch, and it angers me. It's not only not fuel for your body, it's actually bad for your body. It's creating disease inside of you. And here's this company saying, hey, come get this special pizza and Coca-Cola and have it for lunch. It irritates the hell out of me. So you can see where my passion is, right? But I want to protect the consumer. And so I do everything I can in my posts to let them know, even if I have to call them out. Do you look at that and think to yourself, oh, that'd be a nice lunch? No, you're killing yourself. Sorry, you're killing yourself. I mean, a splurge, every once in a blue moon, sure. But you see it all the time, especially if you live in Texas. All the construction workers go to these gas stations and sit in the lawn, and that's what they eat for lunch every damn day. And I'm sick of it. Okay, last one. I need advice on Instagram and how to find shout out sites. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go on your Instagram and click the search button. and put in, even where it says, let me give you the exact verbiage. No, it's Megan Wazinski. Okay. If you click the search bar at the very top, it says top people, tags, places. I would highly recommend that you click tags and put in those hashtags that you would use if you were looking for your target market. So like I said, Fit Mom, Fitspo is something that everybody uses, if you know what I mean. So it's not, unless you don't mind scrolling through it, but hashtags that you would use to try to attract your people are the same hashtags that you will put in the search, and just go through them and look for accounts that are bigger. And they don't have to be super big. The super big ones ask for a lot of money, but I'm here to tell you from trial and error, a lot of times they're fake followers. I have paid a lot of money and hardly got any to realize, you don't know unless you do it, that it's that they've paid for their likes and they've paid for their followers, and they just took advantage of me. But live and learn. So, and there haven't been that many for me. So I don't think, I'm looking on my Kick really fast to see if there's any ones I could tell you not to. Cardio exercises is one I wouldn't do. Fitness models looks really amazing, but for the price, I don't get a good return on it. So I've stuck with the same ones because I've kind of built a relationship with them now, and they allow me to buy packages. So if you use somebody enough, you have really good luck. What I've learned with shout outs, this really long call, I apologize, is number one, your picture has to be very clear, and you have to have a very happy, smiling face. You don't have to be in a bra top and booty shorts and six-pack abs, but you have to look happy and healthy. So you could have this shirt on, a big white shirt, but if I had a big white shirt and you could just tell that I was happy and healthy in the picture, or I was holding my child and we were giggling, I mean, what would your target market find attractive? And a lot of the times you got to think about, if your target market is a mom, what would a mom want? A mom would want to feel healthy. A mom would want to feel happy. A mom would want to be laughing, having a good time with their kids. Maybe you guys are having a picnic, whatever. But that's really important. One of my coaches tried one shout out and it's a great picture, but she's looking very serious. I mean, fierce looking, but that's not going to work. What stops people in their tracks when they scroll is a smiling or a laughing face. And it has to be a very clear, professional looking picture. It doesn't have to be a professional picture, but have someone take it outside where it's a really clear day, or if you have a ring light and you're lit up really well. But it has to be a very clear picture of you being you and you being happy. And the simple words, help wanted, become a girl boss, whatever you want, but just something that'll grab someone's attention that goes, oh, she's happy. Ooh, she's looking for help. I'm gonna read. And then they'll read what it is. So that's really all that it takes. And it's gonna take trial and error. I am perfectly okay with you using my picture. And sorry, I know that sounds egotistical and I don't mean it to, but my pictures work because I've had professional pictures done. And I'm laughing in them, some of them, or I'm upside down. For some reason, that one does really well. But the one of me laughing, it gives me a lot of business because I look approachable, right? When you have that serious face or you're trying to look tough, you're not approachable. So if you don't want to use, and I want you, Mick wanted to do a post on the team page. He hasn't done it yet, and he might. But he wanted to share with you guys that it's okay to piggyback off me. And the reason he wants to write that post is because I just don't see it. But he says that I have built a name for myself. And that if you guys piggyback off me while you're a brand new coach, that we are personal friends, and that I'm your mentor and we're personal friends, no different than what I do with Shalene. Shalene is my personal friend and she's my mentor, and I use her every once in a while. When I run my sneak peeks, you think I'm stupid? I mention Shalene Johnson. She's in my phone. I call her. You can do that with me as well if it will help you. If you don't, please, if you don't want to, I don't care. But if it helps in any way for you to say, she's written some ebooks. She's a master trainer for Beachbody. She's a fitness and nutrition expert, and we're teaming up together to run a challenge group. We're teaming up together and taking 20 coaches in the month of September to train. Get creative. But if it helps to use me, to leverage me in any way, I am so okay with it. We are partners. We work together. I'm not any better of a person than you. I've only been doing this longer. But because I've been doing this longer, I've learned a lot along the way. And I'm teaching you the same. And so together, we're going to help the people that you bring on. So please feel free to leverage me in any way that you can. And I'm going to let you go, but I really want you to take advantage of this health bet. It's the coolest thing. 5 workouts, right? And 3 Shakeologies. Or do I have it backwards? Big deal. Is it right? Thank you. Everybody, we should do that. I'm going to set up the Coach mobile app. 5. Renee, what? 5 workouts? 3 workouts. 5 Shakeologies. Sweet. I'll set up the challenge tracker so everybody can come into the same group, so we can log in all that stuff. So we all get, could be $5, could be $50. Who knows? I have no clue. But regardless, you could take that $5 and go to Fiverr.com or the $50 and put it toward a shout out. Hell yeah. So start advertising that health bet. People work out for money. Come on, why not? Get back in shape before the holidays come. So I love you guys to pieces. Thank you for being on the call and making Danielle feel special. She saw your comments and it meant the world to her. So thank you guys. And I'll see you on the flip side. TeamMADE. Have a good evening. Bye.